Welcome to the Fictional Focus. I'm Nick, and this week's video will be on the new Happy Little Dinosaurs expansion. Hazards Ahead. So basically this will be a update to a games I'd like to play video for Happy Little Dinosaurs. Now the new expansion is out, which I'm very excited about. Looks really good. So we're just gonna be talking about that. So first off, what it comes with. 2 new characters. There we go. Both of them. Really cool. So they have a little... Their plus is for hazards, which we'll talk about in a second. And then the minus is for the green and then for the blue. I really like how the blue one looks is inside. The art for it looks really cool. It's like the meteors coming down into the water. So speaking of the hazards, it also comes with these new little token guys. That looks like little hazard cones. If I can even get it. Looks like a little hazard cone. And then for the characters, they each come with their own little meeple. I'll focus on them. There we go. They each see their own little meeple. So, speaking of the hazards, these are the hazard cards. They have the black background, it has a little hazard symbol on it. Because now, basically, and we'll show you the book, basically set it up the same way, just now you have a hazard deck. Because when you start play, you put one of these little hazard guys on the 20 spot, space 20. So space 20, you put a little hazard guy there. So then as you're playing, when you get there, you draw a hazard card. And a hazard card is basically like a disadvantage, a downgrade. So like there's this one. This is the first one that was on the thing. Up in Flames. If this is in your hazard area, subtract 1 point from your score for each hazard card in your hazard area during scoring. So it just gives you a negative effect. And it stays in your hazard area until you get a card that lets you take it away. And you can only have 2 of the little hazard cone thingies on your board at a time, but you can have as many hazard cards as possible in your hazard area. Because now the disaster cards they have with it, they also added a bunch of new disaster cards. They all have the effect of when you add this disaster card to your disaster area, you may add a hazard token to any other player's escape route. So you can add hazard tokens to other players' escape routes, but then you want to remember they can only have 2, max of 2 on each one. So you don't want to give one to somebody who already has 2 because then they won't even get it. Part of the strategy. And they also added new, like it has the same effect too. It just looks different. A comet that acts as all 3. And the win and the loss, how you win and lose is the same. This is just an added thing to make it harder. And they added some new cards, which basically are about the hazards. All their effects have to do with the hazards. Adding hazards, taking away hazards. There's a hazard redirect, which is, there we go. So I'll focus on it. There we go. Hazard redirect. It's basically like the comet redirect, but for hazards. Now another big thing they added was Lucky Day cards, which goes in the disaster deck because it has the purple back, just like the disaster cards. It goes in the disaster deck, but these are good. These help you. Oh, it's only 4. I thought there was more, but there's only 4. Yeah, there's only 4 Lucky Day cards. Try to get out there. Ooh, yeah, there's 4 Lucky Day cards. And they all have positive effects. So basically when you're playing, usually when you have the lowest score, you get the disaster card. But if the lucky card comes up, you get the lowest score, then you get the lucky card, the Lucky Day card. And they have things like, if you would add this to your disaster area, move it to the bottom of the disaster deck instead. Then look at the top 2 cards of the deck, choose a card and add it to your hand, then discard the other. So they have like positive effects, and then you don't add any disaster card to your disaster deck. Because there are even some of these cards too that help lower your score. And they're like, if you have the lowest score, then this happens. Because then when you can play them for when a lucky card comes up, and it's like, oh, you might actually want to win that. But then On the other side, you don't win, so you don't get to move as many places as you usually do, as you would if you had won. But if you lose, nothing bad happens. Something good actually happens. And that's basically the whole thing, I guess. The hazards, new cards, new disasters, the hazards. That's the whole. I don't know if you can see that. That's the whole rule book for the expansion. Makes it up to 5 to 6 players if you don't already have the 5 to 6 player expansion, which I do. As this one also adds 5 to 6, makes it up to 5 to 6 players and adds two new characters, but it doesn't add any other mechanics or things. I also have the dating disasters, which just adds a bunch of new cards and new disasters and stuff, and it adds disasters with effects. Here, we'll open this up. I wasn't planning on doing this, but might as well. Yeah, they added 3 disasters with the little effects there on the bottom. Like this one's, during scoring each round, you may add 1 point to your score for each predatory disaster card in your disaster area. So it actually helps you. They're all the same thing, just for the different type of disasters. But it actually helps you. So it's like you get the disaster, oh no, but then you get a bonus because you have that disaster. And then, of course, like in the normal game, you get to move how many ever disasters you have. And I like too with this. Don't know if. Oh shoot! I left that out. Okay. Let's see if there's an easy one you can see it on. Yeah, there we go, on that card. Right there next to the number has a little. Let's see. There we go. There's a little safety cone. So that's how you know which cards are for the expansion. Like how on the dating disasters one, there's a little heart symbol. So just so you know which cards go with which expansion, that way you don't have, 500 cards in your deck trying to play. And I mean, you can if you want, but like I want to keep them all separate for when I'm playing the new expansion. I want to try out how the hazards work and the lucky day cards and all that stuff. I don't want all this other stuff muddling it up and getting in the way. But basically, that's it. Happy little dinosaurs. Hazards ahead. There we go. Hazards ahead. I really like the main game. It's great. And I really love the expansion because it adds the 2 characters, and the 2 characters are really cool. And this one looks like it's going to be great. I haven't played it yet. Hoping to play it soon, this weekend maybe, next weekend, at some point. Might be a little bit before I get to play it, but I have it. Got it in the mail the other day. And it's great. It looks great. All the mechanics sound really cool. And I can't wait to play it. So that's basically it. Next week, probably going back to doing the Marvel Multiverse rules. I just needed to take a little break because I'm still working on reading through it and notes and all that stuff. The next chapter is a lot bigger than I remember it being. This is more, it's about character profiles, so it's all about the different stats and what they do, and there's a lot more to it than the other chapter. So that's basically it. Thanks for watching. You should get Happy Little Dinosaurs by Unstable Games. I didn't mention that either. It's by Unstable Games, the creators of Unstable Unicorns, Tic Tac KO, Here to Slay, Casting Shadows, and they just finished their newest Kickstarter, not block that mic, for Command of Nature, which looks really cool. You should check it out. Well, I mean, you can't. The Kickstarter's over. You can't add to the Kickstarter anymore, but you should definitely get Happy Little Dinosaurs and get the expansions and get all the other games because they're awesome. I love Unstable Games. They're great. But anyway, so now that's it. Thanks for watching. Check out the new channel with the podcast, the new podcast channel. All the new episodes are going to be on there. And subscribe, and there'll be other videos. And next week we should get back to Marvel Multiverse. So, till next time, bye.